What you do not wish upon yourself, extend not to others. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal and as though you were scared of missing it. A lack of patience in trifling matters might lead to the disruption of great project. To understand yourself is the key to wisdom. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Base yourself in loyalty and trust. Don't be a companion with those who are not your moral equal. When you make a mistake, don't hesitate to correct it. You can successfully force people to follow a certain course, but you cannot force them to understand it. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. Be not ashamed of mistakes, and thus make them crimes. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. To be wrong is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Learn as though you would never be able to master it. Hold it as though you would be in fear of losing it. I'd rather die for speaking out than to live and be silent. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. True goodness springs from a man's own heart. All men are born good. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. The true gentleman does not preach what he practices till he has practiced what he preaches. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. When a wise man points at the moon, the imbecile examines the finger. A true teacher is one who, keeping the past alive, is also able to understand the present. Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it. By nature, men are nearly alike. By practice, they get to be wide apart. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon or star. If there were one word that could act as a standard of conduct for one's entire life, perhaps it would be thoughtfulness. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. Be strict with yourself, but least reproachful of others, and complaint is kept afar. All people are the same, only their habits differ. Humankind differs from the animals only by a little, and most people throw that away. Looking at small advantages prevents great affairs from being accomplished. If you expect great things of yourself and demand little of others, you'll keep resentment far away. It is when those who are not strong enough have made some moderate amount of progress that they fail and give up. As the water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it, so a wise man adapts himself to circumstances. It is only when mosquitoes land on your balls that you realize there is a way to solve problems without using violence. If I understand change, I shall make no great mistake in life. There is nothing more real than what cannot be seen, and there is nothing more certain than what cannot be heard. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Don't grieve when people fail to recognize your ability. Grieve for your lack of ability instead. How can you love people without encouraging them? And how can you be loyal to people without educating them? Success depends upon previous preparation. The one who teaches is the giver of eyes. In worthy teaching, all things are related. The man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. Better light a candle than curse the darkness. To one who is not eager I do not reveal anything, nor do I explain anything to one who is not communicative. There are those who act without knowing. I will have none of this. To hear a lot, choose the good, and follow it. To see a lot and learn to recognize it. This is next knowledge. If you want to make a stand, help others make a stand. And if you want to reach your goal, help others reach their goal. Consider yourself and treat others accordingly. This is the method of humanity. The ultimate revenge is living well and being happy. Hateful people can't stand happy people. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. Worthy admonitions cannot fail to inspire us, but what matters is changing ourselves. Reverent advice cannot fail to encourage us, but what matters is acting on it. Encouraged without acting, inspired without changing, there is nothing to be done for such people. Knowing it does not compare with loving it. Loving it does not compare with delighting in it. If you look at their intentions, examine their motives, and scrutinize what brings them contentment, how can people hide who they are? How can they hide who they really are? Things that are done, it is needless to speak about. Things that have had their course, it is needless to remonstrate about. Things that are past, it is needless to blame. The superior man bends his attention to what is radical. That being established, all practical courses naturally grow up. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. The superior man is satisfied and composed. The mean man is always full of distress. Let the states of equilibrium and harmony exist in perfection, and happy order will prevail throughout heaven and earth, and all things will be nourished and flourish. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Forget injuries, never forget kindnesses.